here we have a gigantic power bank. This is the Anchor Solix C300 DC that I just got. Pretty cool. Got the little flap going on that you can literally hit people with. Oh. And all that crap. And I'll take some questions and whatnot. Let me get my video streaming back up in business, so if I get anybody asking questions or jazz like that, if my thing loads. Oh, great. There we go. So, fixes that issue. So, this whole thing is being slightly slow charged right now. I have my, what is it? 15 watts USB-A to USB-C port charging right now. It's around 15 to 16 watts input. Gonna take super slow with this, but I'll just unplug it for now to leave that unplugged for a bit. Turn the unit off. There we go. And put this on screen brightness. So you guys can see me better. Or I guess you can't see me because the product's in my way. This is a unit that I'm going to be using. Let me see if I can actually prop this up correctly. I don't know if I can. No. Oh, maybe that'll work. Yes, I'm not wearing a shirt. Shut up. So, this is the Anchor Solix. And it provides, what is it, 90,000 mAh at 3.2 volts. Or roughly, if I went to the Rapid tablets, 5 volts at 288 watts hour in milliamps, please. That is 57,600 mAh capacity. Pretty large. So if I did the calculation, this would technically recharge my Samsung phone about 10 to 13 times, roughly. So that's pretty cool. I don't know where they got 19 charges for iPhone ability, but iPhones are not as big as Android is. So yeah. Pretty decent amount of ports. Again, this is the Anchor Solix C300 DC version. There's no AC ports, all DC. So it's got USB-C power ports down here. You got 2 charge ports. These are both 140, and then this is DC output of 100 watts out. This is 100 watts in, and then all 3 are 15 or I think 18 watts out. This is barrel jack or not barrel jack. Cigarette lighter port is 100 watts or 120 watts power output. Pretty decent. It's got phone ability, but I'm turning that off for now. And it's got a fancy light. Takes a while to turn this thing on. It's got a handle thing that you can literally slap people with if you wanted to. Hello. The light has 3 modes. Creepy mode, interesting mode, and 3 watts of power boost brightness. Woo! For those less scary times. And it can actually be directional. So if you want the light to be more exposed to someone else, here on my screen, you can actually do that. And it's also got 360 ability, so you can actually turn it slightly slanted somewhere else. So that's pretty cool. Weighs about 6.5 pounds worth. So quite heavy battery pack. Uses the LiFePO cells, which is basically the life cells, which is Life PO4 cells. So pretty decent safety measures compared to normal lithium-ion cells, which are normally NMC cells. Very short cycle life. Not the greatest. And their protection safety protocol is not as great. They're actually the ones that actually catch on fire and whatnot. These don't. If these ever have a problem, the only thing they will do is basically just be a fog machine. I hope you guys like my haircut. Cool. So yeah. It also does have a phone button thing, but I turned that off right now. So I'm not using phone this. Because there's no point to it. Unless I have to, screw around with the other settings. Yeah, my finger was on top of the button, but I was actually not pushing the physical button down all the way. This button actually has what I call a active, on and off function button. An active, or an idle on and off function button means that this button is always on. Yes. Even though I just clicked it and it, wasn't responding, it's always on. This button's actually always on. It's waiting for me to hold down that button, and it reactivates to its full power ability. But when it's off, it's actually still on, guys. Because you want to know, if there's no physical button, switch button thing, where it goes like a breaker switch, for instance, that means there's always power that's coming from this going into the entire circuitry. Not very great. But, yeah. There's also another thing I call this, it's a digital power button. A digital power button is basically what this is. Which means it's always active. It's not powering the entire device fully, but it has low power still going through every circuitry, everything. It's kind of annoying. That's why for my Hyper-E ride, if I want to, conserve the power, I take off the battery. I wouldn't leave the battery on the bike. Because, for some reason, it still likes to suck up power. So having a physical button to detach the power ability from the electronic controller system is always good. So this I got because I wanted to power my phone and my Samsung DeX pad, along with my Samsung, not Samsung, my WeBoost Drive Sleek ability for my Project Station ability. Because a Project Station is going to be a quite an insane project that a lot of people are going to blow their minds out when I tell them about this. But in a sense, I'll just give you a simple description. Project Station is going to be a powerhouse. Big powerhouse. And I mean superior powerhouse. Like when it comes to performance, I'm putting about 3 kilowatts. 3 kilowatts. Yes, 3 full kilowatts. Not in, just running stuff. No, 3 kilowatts of power storage in the bike itself. That's just the bike. That's for optional power ability. If I get an inverter, I want to suck off juice from the batteries from the bike specifically. That's not third-party power ability. My third-party power ability is actually this stuff. So I have a Jackery 100 Plus. I have the small little other stuff and whatnot. And then I have this. And I probably want to buy something, another roughly around this or something like that, that I would have third-party power. Now, if I had to switch my Goal Zero 150 and 400 to LiPo 4 cells instead of lead acid, which would reduce the weight cost by a lot, I would have, with currently everything I have now, not maybe another optional power bank system or such forth, about 1 kilowatt of storage power. So that's not in the future with Power Project Station for stuff. And to recharge this, to use for my phone, my WeBoost, and the Samsung DeX pad, and a laptop next dock, or so forth, lap dock, that will power Samsung DeX, that will be around 50 watts. And that's why I wanted to get this, because it had built-in DC cigarette lighter port for my WeBoost booster, my phone booster, and then I can power off this with my Samsung DeX pad and lap dock, and maybe a small light, even though technically this has a light itself, but less power wattage light, and run everything like that. And I can recharge it without wasting a single dime of this, because my current power income that I actually have, I can actually recharge this about at 50 to 60 watts. Now that's not full wattage, because what I keep on telling people a lot is that you want to double up in power when you go solar. So if you're expecting to get 200 watts of power, you need 400. If you want 400, you need 800. So forth. If you want stable income power, you're going to double up. So even though I have 2 Goal Zero Nomad 20s, the second generation, not the third generation, I have 2 Nomad 5s, third generations. I have 2 black boxes. One's a 7 watt, just USB, and then the other one is USB 12 watts. And then I have 2 of my Bruntons that are 20 watts each at 15 volts. In combined total, I would be able to recharge. So, with the powerful ones that recharge around 18 to 15 volts, I would use the solar input for the goal zeros, which will provide me about 18 volts. And then one of the USB-C ports I would use for my Bruntons, because they only provide about 15 volts. And then the other solar port, what's that? I would plug into my Jackery and do a slow charge or a slow passive charge for income power, and use one of my actually I would use both of my black boxes, which will provide me what's 12 and 7, that's 19 watts income power from the Jackery, since it can provide recharge at 5 volts. Unlike this only can, the minimum for the USB-C ports is 9 volts for income power. But the Jackery can actually recharge at 5 volts, up to 3 amps. So it can take 18 amps per USB-C port. So I can recharge from both USB-C ports at 5 volts. So I can use both my black boxes at such and such, and then power the Jackery to this to provide 18 watts at 9 volts into this bad boy. So 3-way charging ability into this bad boy, and that will give me about 99 watts of power, of income power, technically. But if I half that, then I would get about roughly around 45-ish, or 44.5 watts of income power, I guess, if I split that in half. So, yeah. So it might still leak power from the cells itself on here, but if it has full performance, yeah. But I can always buy an extra 20 or 40 or 80 watt panel and provide more boost of this from a different USB-C port ability. So yeah, that will be cool to power all my phone power performance from my pure like phone ability just off this for my project station. So this would be basically my entire home power station right here. Pretty cool, huh? And since I have a lot of low power devices, my phone doesn't really need that much power when it's at full charge, and it's on Samsung DeX Station, which only provides up to 18 volts of income power, but it provides pretty decent stable power performance. And the 18 watts of my booster, plus powering the laptop and a small light again, yeah. That's pretty much all I would technically need to run all of that. But for other stuff, say if I wanted to power a lot more things, this would still give me a plenty of runtime, because I actually also am looking into finding out some cool anti-winter devices, because I found that you can buy these clothes, the Under Armour clothes, that have heated coils in them. I was thinking of using one of these power banks to power completely all my clothes in one device. Like maybe put this on a backpack or something like that, and just completely have power from all of them into this thing. So just basically all cables combined up into this into my backpack, and just walk like it's nice and warm out. Oh, it's 90 degrees out. Ha, yeah. Realistically, it's like minus, I don't know, a couple C for some people, or like 20 Fahrenheit outside, and I'm walking like it's summertime. So yeah. So this will be pretty cool. Oh, my hands hurt. But this is not the only one. Like I said, I have about kilowatts of power from all across my other devices. I have this cheapo, no-name brand power bank that I mentioned on my the fake products about Rad Power, and this product itself was the same product from Rad Power, but Rad Power wanted to sell it for like $90. Seriously, $90 for this thing. They wanted to sell it for $90, even though this was actually only for $15. With that was a coupon for like 30% off or something. So it was like 30% off or something like that, and I got it for $15. I was like, dude, 68 watts of power for $15, which is technically like a 20,000 mAh capacity battery bank. Sign me up. Even though it's probably not the greatest ability, it gives you two USB-C ports at 70 watts each. They're split, so don't expect 70 watts each on both the power ability there. So 18 watts on both the ports. I think it's actually 15 or something like that. Either way, pretty decent. Nice little simple device ability. It's a little awkward because when you're plugging in to recharge something, say if I wanted to recharge this sucker, and then I plug in something to recharge this device, they'll flip out and be like, oh, no, I want to suck power from this baby. Because if you put power delivery from one device to another device, it doesn't like to remember its switch ability, and will technically go whoop like that. So this has a weird thing of switching on itself. And say if you wanted to have power coming from one port and power going from the out port, then it'd be like, nope, I'm going to take power from that. Or send power to that, take power from that, take power from that, take power from that, try and suck it back. It's stupid. And yes, both of these ports are both in and outs. And it also likes to kind of freak out these ports too when you plug in just the USB-C ports. It's kind of stupid. But for cheap, it was okay. Even though it doesn't really have the right capacity. It says it's 20,000 mAh capacity, but it's realistically, if we understand that it's using 18650 cells, you can't get 20,000 mAh capacity from 4 cells. Because the maximum capacity is around 3,400 or 3,500. So yeah. And I wonder if that number's right. I don't know, somebody left. They came and left. They saw the guy with the buzz cut hair and they were like, so the real capacity is about 13,600 or 14,000 if they maybe achieved 3,500 mAh capacity for each cell, because this is a NMC lithium cell. This is not the life cell. So yeah, pretty interesting. Still, for like 50 watt hours, pretty okay. For $15, I was like, you know what? Screw it. It's only $15. If Rat Power's going to send it for sell it for like 90 bucks, then I can get it for 15 bucks, then that's a steal. Then I got a few of these little Ryobi power packs. So this I actually got, what is it? These are the two Oz that I actually got for my heated pad. So you can actually use this with dual cells if you want to, or single cell. And it's about 15 to 20 watt hours for this, so you get about I would say if you're using two 3 Oz, you get about roughly about 45, maybe 4,000, 4,200 mAh. And if you use both of the 2 Oz, you get roughly around, I think, 32, something like that. Still pretty cool. And it provides 15 watts output at 5 volts at 3 Ah, or 3 amps. It's pretty cool. So a lot more powerful than just using the basic battery itself. I'm gonna suck on a cough drop. So it is a cool little power bank. I mean, you can use technically this, but they only provide about 7 watts output from the standard battery. So you get almost twice as much from the power pack. And yes, you can still actually use one cell 15 watts. So that's really cool. And I still have my Guide 12s. This one's kind of beaten up because somehow Goal Zero does not have the most famous plastics for their top heads right here. The Guide 10s I've had, Guide 10 Plus, always had to seem to break right here on the little notches where it actually keeps attached. And then this also started breaking, so I was like, oh great. Still have the power button, but somehow the LEDs on the left side here broke, and now I only have 2 LEDs, so I don't know if it's actually in low power mode for low charging for AAAs or in high powered mode for charging AA's, but you know, not really going to use AAA's, so just using AA's, and pretty good. 2500 mAh that comes with the power bank, the power this little thing. These are Duracell. They're the same mAh capacity, but I trust these guys more than Goal Zero's technically mAh capacity cells, because Duracell has a lot better reputation for their batteries than Goal Zero using random brands or something like that. I don't know. But Guide 12 Plus is really cool because unlike the Guide 10 Plus, I mean not Guide 12 Plus, Guide 12, unlike the Guide 10 Plus that only provides 1 amp from the USB-A port, this bad boy is the fastest and highest power in the world. I'm not kidding, in the world. The actual freaking world. This is the most powerful AA or AAA power bank you'll ever see in the world. 2 amps. USB-A. 10 freaking watts. Yeah, instead of 5 watts, now you get 10 watts of power output. at 5 volts. Whoa. Now I know everybody's going saying, that's not very big. I mean, I can charge my devices now at 100 watts on USB-C, baby boy. Well, technically, yes and no. Because the funny fact is, USB-C does not supply power at 100 watts at 5 volts. USB-C is called a stepping voltage power input and output device. What does that mean? Is basically to achieve roughly around 100 watts, it needs to provide 20 volts at 5 amps. Yes, 20. So it doesn't do 5, it goes up. Goes up 9, 12, 15, 18, or 19, 20, 21, so forth. Because it's supplied in a very small cable. So if you had a lot of power going through a cable that's this tiny, what happens? At that voltage, that cable will go within about 15 seconds. So, no, you can't. Yeah, you can get 100 watts on USB-C. That's cool. But not for standard devices. The maximum you can get for standard devices that I've seen right now is, I think one thing was achieving like 22.5 watts. Let me actually check that. 5. 22.5. Don't know why I put that in the current. 22.5 watts. That's 4.5. So that's the maximum I'm seeing right now. It's 4.5. But the most standard right now is 3 amps at 5 volts. Which is 18 watts. Okay? That's the fastest you'll ever get from 5 volt system right now. Anything else has to provide over 9, 12, 15, such and such and such. So USB-C is universal to 5 volts, but it does not supply 100 watts at 5 volts. So, all those people thinking that they can, smack dab charge their ability like that, yeah, that doesn't work. And I know all of your questions are going to be like, I charged my phone at like 45 watts, and it's only a USB-C port. It doesn't charge at 5 volts. It's a USB-C port. Just because it's a USB-C port doesn't make it the same thing. Just like, Thunderbolt is USB-C compared to DisplayPort that's USB-C. USB-C is a universal plug, which means that they can do this and this and this for the same thing and the same plug ability. But your phones actually don't just charge at 5 volts anymore, guys. It actually charges around such and such now. So yeah, it charges at a higher voltage than the standard old days where you used to only charge at, 2.1 amps at 5 volts. Now we can charge the suckers up to a bunch of amps from 9 volts, 15 volts. Ooh, something like that. Crazy. But this is the most powerful power bank in the world. You'll not find anything more powerful than this. 2 amps. 10 watts of power output. Now you don't get 2 amps of recharge, you only get 1. But that's still plenty. And it takes only 4 hours to recharge 4 AA's. A bit slow, but still pretty decent. And then I have a Jackery 100 Plus, and that is quite a nice little power box. Not the most craziest on port selection, but it has 2 USB-Cs that are both in and out, and then it has a standard 18 watts switch voltage USB-A port. So the USB-A port can actually provide up to 12 volts at 1.5 amps, and then 9 volts at 2 amps, and then 5 volts at 3 amps. So really cool. And I think the ports are shared, so if you try to recharge it, I think it recharges at roughly around 110. So, not too bad, but the cool thing that I like about the Jackery is that unlike Anker's dumbest idea for their USB-C ports, where you require 9 volts at the minimum to recharge the unit, like I said in the start of my video, you can actually recharge the Jackery at 5 volts. So each port can recharge at 3 amps at 5 volts, which means you can recharge it at 30 watts. Now that's freaking cool. And then you can supply 18 watts output from USB-A. So that's quite a lot of performance. So if you have your standard USB solar panels and stuff like that, and you want to use your Jackery with standard USB-A ports that only charge at 5 volts, you can recharge the Jackery 100 Plus off that. I can get 15 or 30 watts or less, because you can use both of the charger ports at the same time. That, I would have to say, is, if I can get this turned on, quite a bright idea. That is so stupid. But yeah, really freaking cool. Now, the interesting thing, though, I don't know if the capacity is correct or not, but I did a calculation to correct the capacity. Same thing with this. The capacity for the Jackery, even though it says it's 3.1 at 3.1 such and such, because it's like 92-ish? I forget what the Jackery thing is. $31,000 at 3.2 volts. So 31,000 at 3 3.2 volts. Milliamps is 99.2 watt hours. So we do 5 volts to see how much mod capacity it is at 5 volts, and it's 19,840. So I can technically charge my Samsung phone, which I'm using in the stream right now, which has a capacity of 5,000, for about 3 and maybe a half. It's pretty decent. So for that capacity, I know everybody would probably say, oh, well, you could have bought something way cheaper than that for that amount of capacity. Technically, yes, you're not wrong. I can actually buy something for that for way less cheaper. I've actually have something on my wish list cart. I don't know why my eyes are bugging me. That is actually from another company that's actually way less than... Where the frick is it? What's on the other stuff? It's way cheaper. Couple, like, if they're selling it for like 120, like $60 less than, oh, a person that just, okay, bye, they join and leave again. So for $60 less, that has even a little bit more watt hours, you can buy something like the Inmoto portable power bank, which is 138 watt hours, or 38400 mAh portable power station with power delivery, 100 watt power delivery, DC ports, USB-A, home backup, solar generator, fast charge, blah blah blah. 65 watts power delivery, charger included. $60 right now. Why did I get the Jackery over that? They actually have slightly more power than the Jackery. Well, one of the things is, well, it only has one power delivery in and out. I want two technically. Still has two USB-C ports. One's actually 20 power delivery, and then standard USB 5 volts, which are actually shared. They're 4.8, which means each port is 2.4. So standard 5 volts, not IQ technology, which allows voltage shift system ability. It does have a optional head that you can plug in, which I think it's a DC, which could probably provide 120 watts outputs, because they have a AC adapter that plugs up into that and converts that into AC power. I think it's modified, but that's an optional accessory. But the biggest reason why I went with Jackery, which was on sale for $89 pretty much everywhere at the time, is because of the safer and larger cycle life cells. Jackery was the only thing that actually has a portable power bank system similar to like one of these bad boys, but they actually have the life cells in them, and not the generic NMC cells that they boast and say they have a superiorly long cycle life. Like, oh my gosh, we have like 1,000 or 15,000 cycle life from our MMC cells. Or they don't even say that. They just say it's 3.7 volts. It's like 10,000 cycle life. It's like, okay. Interesting. So, that's why I got the Jackery. Sure, it was about $30 more than what this is. But I did kind of find this after I bought the Jackery too. But the Jackery there has better safer cells, even though it has less ports than usual. Like it only has one USB-A port, but it has dual USB-Cs in and out. But it has safer cell technology. And it can charge at 5 volts. I think this also can charge at 5 volts, which is probably pretty decent. So if you want a cheaper option, yeah, this probably would be a lot better. For more power, similar thing for the Jackery. I don't know about the brands. The brand is, to me it's a bit, but, I don't think a lot of people even care about brands. They don't really do much research on brands. Because I was a bit iffy on Jackery themselves and Anchor. Anchor's too populated and everybody's like, oh, Anchor, everybody go Anchor. It's so cool, awesome. And I'm like, okay, it's a little weird. No, I don't want you. No. The only reason I got this is because they're the only ones that actually have full DC and only rely on, oh, hello, person. Are you going to actually say this time? Or whoever came in. There's a chat system on the right side or left side. I don't know which video. Okay, bye. I have a little thing, a little icon up here, right here above my finger that shows how many people are watching me. And I just see it go one, and it's like, hi. And then, like, 10 seconds later, they're like, pew! I guess nobody likes my shave. Hey. Different preference. I like it. I don't have to wave my hair around. It's nice and thin, that keeps it nice and cool. Anyways, so yeah, the popularity is kind of weird, and not to mention Jackery's background wasn't the most famous background. Because I've seen Jackery before they even got into the solar business. And yes, they were never into the solar business. They came out to be another random company that was like normal, like those run-of-the-mill kind of companies where they're like, oh yeah, we got this and we got that. Like for instance, Rad Power, where they buy a random product that you can buy from some other crazy no-name product company and just like, boom. That's what Jackery was. They were just basically buying other company no-name products and reselling them under their name. They were into the power bank system, jazz like that back then, and then later on they came out with the Power Pro station. It was like 600 watts or 500 watts, and it was a solar generator, but still wasn't theirs. It was a generic, no-name brand product that they bought off from a no-name product company, and they just stamped their logo, got their paint job and jazz like that, and called it a day, and sold it. And there's not any real videos of Power Station Pro, but Yeah, Jackery's reputation didn't really take off that much until somebody actually decided to partner with them. Yes, Jackery partnered with the big motor company that makes gas generators to make their solar system. Who was that? Honda. Honda, the gas generator company. They actually partnered with Jackery to produce and make portable power stations for Jackery. And that's how Jackery got into the solar biz. And they started with their 160 portable, their lightest portable power station. And then they had their, I think it was a 240, and then yeah, I think it was the 160 and their 240. But I found it very interesting because I forget if it was the 160 and the 240, or was there a bigger one? I forget. Oh, hello, person. You're gonna stay? Is this person gonna stay? There's a chat system on the left or the right side. I don't know which one that's pointing to. Say hi, whatever. Ask questions, chat like that. And they leave. There goes another person. Oh, hello again. Another person. This chat system on the right side, I think, or left side. Bye. So, anyways, I found it interesting that Jackery was selling the 160 and the 240, but then they had the same versions under the Honda name that were red instead of their famous orange reddish coloration. They were the same power bank, same power stations, but the 160 was actually 190, or no, it was 200. And they're it was 190 or 200, I think, watt hours compared to like 160 watt hours for the normal Jackery. So the Honda version had more capacity than the Jackery versions. So the 240, the Honda version, actually got 290. So I was like, okay. So it was quite interesting how they started up with their system when they got partnered with Honda. And not to mention, their electronic system was very basic, and their recharge sucks. Like, oh my gosh, we got this power station and such and such and such, and it only recharges at 40 watts. I'm not kidding. Their first power stations only literally charged at around 40 watts for both of these. I was like, Gold Zero is small as 150. The lead acid can recharge at 60 watts. So why are you charging at very, very, very crappy wattage? Like 32 and 40 watts? Like, seriously? Where'd you pull that number out of your butt? Hello, person. There's a chat system on the side. Say hello. Ask questions about my project station and whatnot. And anything else. Or you can disappear, like you just did. I think people look back at this and be like, man, Yeah, a lot of people just come and go. Nobody kept on watching. Am I too boring, guys? I just I'm too boring. So, anyways, Jaggery's entire solo lineup was very low charge and such forth, and they mimicked the entire thing that Goal Zero was using for their charge thing, the 8mm plugs, but they were using very low charge inputs. It's like then they had the solar panels that everybody else uses for their 100-watt solar panels. You could get from any brand anymore. It's like so, yeah. Then their second generation solar power stations actually came around. Now they have the new flat head designs with the life cell system instead of the first cells they were using NMCs. Yes. And they now recharge fast, like really fast. So now, if you look at the 300s, which is their smallest one, if you're not counting the 100 plus, which actually was the reform of the 160 system, that just basically went pure DC. The 160 was actually supposed to be like, in comparison to the 150 from Goal Zero with the AC, DC, USB ports and jazz like that. I guess they said, you know what, well, let's just make the smallest one DC only and stick with that. It'll be portable, small, lightweight, and all that good stuff, jazz like that. So their smallest one that they have now is technically like the 240, but the 300. Although they have a reversion 2 of the 240, but just it's the same version of the 300, just smaller capacity for some reason. It's like, okay, I put a little bit more bucket for the bigger capacity. So, yeah. So they can recharge over like 100, 250 watts now, compared to the pitiful 40. So a lot more faster, a lot more stable, and a lot more better system. And the cool thing is that they're actually using kind of the similar thing as what this is compared to their first version of this, which is only the 60,000 mAh capacity cell one. This is the 90 one. They actually use their own unique display system. Same thing with Jackery. The new 2 versions, they use their own unique display technology, display look, and stuff like that. So now it actually has its own unique battery indication and everything like that, instead of using the generic Goal Zero ripoff of the 400. So that's pretty cool. So that's why you do your research on understanding such and such about companies and kind of looking at their past, because either you get the crazy populated companies that a lot of people, complain, but they really don't put much detail into it, or companies that aren't really true to the branding ability, or really no-name, are just really no-name brand companies, or false companies. Or they're just companies that came out and boast that they've been cool for years, like Seago USA, for instance, boasting they've been around for like years and years, even though they came around such and such time. They haven't been really that great. I do like the... Have they actually changed it? I wonder. Have they actually changed it? I saw a price change on them. Oh, did they change it back to the price? Oh my gosh. Um, I'm laughing because Sego USA on Amazon recently changed their price from the maximum of their 2000 lumen output dual LED version. Oh, hello, person. Bye, person. Their dual LED version that's basically in competition to the Ranger 2000 from Cygolite. Sego USA changed their price from like $74 for their highest 2000 version light to $140. Now nobody's gonna buy them because they basically just doubled their price. Like I'm not kidding. They literally doubled their price, and now Cytolite looks cheap compared to Sego USA. It's like, dude, that's the only thing you guys had good for your products is your cheap price. Now people are gonna see you and just be like, lamos. Go back to your cheapy price book if you want sales. That's the only thing that really actually benefited from you. But I don't know where they thought the idea was boasting about. Maybe it's an issue with Amazon's bullcrap. But $140 for their $74 light that they're having on. Yeah, no, sorry. That's not gonna fit anybody's book in general. I don't even know where the freak they thought that was just gonna come out for their book. But yeah, nowhere is that gonna fit. Everybody's gonna look at that now and they're gonna be like, Cycle light, boom! Cheaper, better, nicer quality. So yeah. But anyways, get to my project station now. I've been rambling about this. So project station is going to be my most craziest project ever out there. And as you already know, I have my Hyper-E ride being the most powerful thing ever that anybody has ever thought of putting on a freaking cheapo department store or Walmart bike. Right now it has over a kilowatt of power because I have a 36 volt 30 cell in the back trailer, and I have my stock 240 watt hour 7.8 cell 36 volt system in the mid battery pack system, and combined that's about a kilowatt plus. That's 1.2 kilowatts of power. That's freaking insane. And that's just now. That's not including what I have planned. I actually want to put 3 kilowatts more. Well, not more. I want to put over 3 kilowatts of power in the Hyper-E ride. So I plan to put another 2 kilowatts in the Hyper-E ride for more range, better performance, and extra usage. Because I also probably think about buying a 36 volt inverter that I'll be able to siphon off power from the actual bike power itself if I need to for something high demand, and say if I want to cook something from standard AC plugs. But said I got most of my stuff being low power devices like this and whatnot. So that's just the bike itself in the power ability. And when I have my mid drive and my front hub, that range is going to be insane per charge. And I want to limit the charge time roughly around 4 or less hours to recharge the entire bike power delivery ability. So that's 3 kilowatts to recharge within 4 hours. Yeah. So I'm doing research on understanding how fast, what battery pack I'm going to go with that, and the recharging ability, how much wattage that's going to use and whatnot, because I want to do it all from a single AC extension port. So I have everything plugged in for the power recharging my bike's batteries, internal batteries, and recharge that within 4 hours. Everything done. So if I go to a gas station, they allow me to recharge, and I can sit there for 4 hours or so forth, eating, playing some games, whatnot, recharge, boom. Plus, I'll be able to have some of the power banks, all these bad boys on other chargers that would be plugged into that and allow me to work off wall outlets as I'm recharging the bike at the same time. So I basically have infinity power while I'm recharging. And then when I'm on the go on solar or portable power from this. And yeah. So 3+ kilowatts. That's more power than I think most people in van life vehicles have done. I saw one video of a guy that was living off his van that he had 3 12 volts 100 cells, which is equivalent to about 3 kilowatts. Sort of the same idea. And he can power his laptop and other stuff, but he's living in a van, so his mobility is gas powered. But most of his stationary ability is powered on solar and his power bank. But for mine, I need that solar and power bank system as my go ability, unlike van life ability where they use gas. So mine not only is for the bike itself, but also a smidge of power for hello person. There's a chat system on the right or left side. You can chat, ask me questions about Project Station or so forth. And yeah, say hi. Oh, and they left. I wonder if somebody's in my chat. No? So, yeah, 3 kilowatts. And so a normal kilowatt right now, I get a pretty decent amount of range with just my front hub motor with my 1 kilowatt power out ability. So if I can get about 100 miles with that, then 3 kilowatts, 300 miles per charge. And that would probably be increased to about 400 to maybe 500 if I use just my mid-drive. It's not my front hub. Plus, I'm thinking of maybe probably putting another battery pack just for the bike itself in the mid bag ability, which would give me 36 volts at 14 ohm. I was recently actually actually thinking about putting two 14 ohm 36 volts in the panners, because I was actually planning to buy just actual removable panners from Iberia, because I gotta replace my standard bag, because um, the side panners are ripping. The middle bag only has one zipper, and it's hard to zip in and out. But it's still efficient. It's still working. But the zipper's really friggin' annoying. And both of those, one of the side zippers broke in half. Still zips, but yeah, it's a pretty old bag, and it's been strapped down. The rear connection, the thing to remove it from the metal, universal metal stand, actually broke. The little plastic clip actually broke off. So it's permanently attached. And I've been thinking, if I wanted to go into a store or something and I wanted to bring my bags, I'm not going to freaking unstrap thing and, throw my entire panner bags and everything in there, all jazz like that. So I was thinking of just getting independent panner bags that are, just panner bags that sit on the side. They can removable the panner bag and then put into such and such, and then just buy a standard, no unfoldable, expandable side panners top bag, and just go with that. But for the detachable side panners, by how long they are, I'm doing a bit more research on this to understand how long they are, or how high they are, technical speech. I want to understand how long they are, and if they have a solid wall. That way I can tape the battery to that wall and let them hang, and then have the battery leads come out from the panner, either on the top or the bottom, and then split, since it'll be two 14 off cells of 36 volt, which basically almost be a kilowatt again. They'll go into a central dual port, into a single port, and then plug into that. And then I'll be able to get more range just powered off the bag itself. And with that, if they are about 7 pounds each, that's 14 pounds of weight capacity. A little bit less than my 21 pounds 30 cell I have. And that would give me a pretty decent amount of power just for the bike itself. And I'll be able to remove the power banks, the power cells, and all the power bags, and put in my trailer if I want to walk into the store. Just leave my bike without the power ability. Of course, the mid cell will be still there, but still, all the bags will be removed and all that stuff. So I was thinking about that, but then I was like, I still have the middle bag that I can technically use for putting a cell inside of it, which, if I do the calculations of length and depth and height and everything like that, I could probably put that cell 14 AH cell into the middle bag and go with that, instead of having to put two cells in the back. Two cells would be more great, but then the weight capacity isn't all like that. But I don't know, I'm still jumping around that idea. But for the last 30 or so cell, I'm not sure if I'm going to buy specifically for e-bike. Maybe I'll buy the more generic type lifestyle versions where they basically have the lead acid replacement case and deconstruct the case, take the cells, and actually use it. That I'll talk in another future video and put that on my Project Station trailer. Because for Project Station, I want to use a camper trailer, one of those trailers that look like a livable RV in a sense. Except this is going to be for a bicycle, so it's going to be a lot smaller. So basically, if you had like the maximum room capacity of one of those RV bathrooms, that's as big as you're gonna get from an RV. I mean, a camper trailer for a bicycle. That's as much room as you're probably gonna have for your camper trailer and your bicycle. And I don't mean the entire bathroom area with the bathroom sink and shower or so forth. I mean, literally, probably just about as much as sitting on the toilet. Yeah, that's as much room as you're probably gonna get for one of these little camper trailers for a bicycle. Well, maybe about a little bit longer because you have to lay in it, but if you're sitting in a sense, you're gonna be a little bit more back with a desk in front of you or some jazz like that. But yeah, that's how big it's gonna be in a sense. So it's not gonna have much room inside, but I wanted to utilize the bottom similar to a Tesla and put the battery pack system under and then reinforce the bottom with metal and such forth and waterproof sealant ability. Because that will keep the weight distribution more stabilized and it'll be less impact inside the trailer itself, and I'll be able to have more room for other accessories, especially my little lap dock, my phone, small little light to power up here, and some switches to power all my to turn on everything else. So, if I wanted to turn on my inverter for the 36 volt system, you just go plug in AC port. And hello, person. Hello. How's it going? Strat system on the right or left side, whatever. You can say hi, talk about Project Station, and goodbye. But how fast people will just come in and leave. I'm wondering if my system's just glitching or something. Hi, the person. There's a chat system. You can chat, ask about Project Station, chat system, whatever. So, yeah. And they left again. So, I think my thing's just kind of glitching out or something like that. I keep on saying somebody comes in and just leaves. And it's awkward that it's not actually registering that I'm watching it from my PC. So it's actually kind of weird. I pop out chat? What the flip? Does that mean I don't have to freaking watch my stream at the same time while I'm watching? You gotta be kidding me. I could have popped out chat. Doggone it. I could have popped out chat the entire freaking time. Now it supposedly won't glitch. So if there's actually a person there, it will actually be a person. So maybe it was glitching, saying somebody was coming, but they really didn't come in. So yeah. So the other battery pack, maybe I can probably shove in another 2 kilowatts into the trailer, because kilowatts of power would be about 21 to 20 pounds ish. So the trailer itself, if I put the actual add-ons, that would probably about 10 pounds more with the secured panel system and whatnot. So that'd be about 50 pounds if I want to put 2 kilowatts of power up it. But 30 kilowatts, I mean 30 just kilowatts of power in the actual trailer. Well, actually, wait. No, 2 kilowatts. I already have to go to the trailer because I already have a trailer that's got a kilowatt, and I would need to move that to the camper. So how do I get 3 kilowatts into the single trailer? I guess I would have to have a kilowatt in the bike itself. So technically, I guess I would need to do the bag idea. So yeah, 15 pounds of weight capacity will go onto the camper trailer's underbody to keep the weight distribution nice and even and nice and good. And it'll be out of place, so, you know, that'll allow more spacage performance inside. And hello, person. I hope you're official and not going to leave. There's a chat system I'm currently having on my PC. You can chat and ask me about project. Okay. That was actually a person that came and left. Whatever. So yeah. That will give me a lot more space instead of having to put the huge battery packs inside the camper and have them somehow exposed here and there and whatnot. Plus, I'll be able to wire everything more evenly and have everything come up and be more better in switches and chat like that. So, yeah. So for that will be 2 kilowatts of the trailer ability, maybe 3 kilowatts full on. But that's going for the bike itself. And then maybe a slight smidge or so forth will be for maybe cookability. But I'm not going to get anything too big for powering on AC. Because again, everything's going to be as low as possible for power outage. And most of my devices only take 5 volts, so that's pretty good. Even my phone can be recharged from 5 volts, so that's awesome. The only thing that can't be recharged by 5 volts is that bad boy. But I can use overridization with my Jackery system to recharge, and my solar panels to recharge from 18 volts or 5 volt, 15 volts, just like that. So that's pretty cool. Another cool thing is I'll have a bunch of switches up here that will be analog, and that means I can actually just go and turn everything off. So say if I have my lights all plugged into this and such forth, well, on this I'll have, you know, buttons and such forth just like that for this, and probably that. But actually I don't even know why I would need switches for this and that. I think the only thing I need a switch for would probably be the 36 volts inverter. But that's the complication and everything I gotta do. I gotta understand the logic and logistics and all that good stuff. How fun is that? But Project Station is gonna be massive. it's going to be the biggest thing that a lot of people probably have not even seen ever achieved. I'm bringing the van life into a bicycle. And I'm not just bringing the basic van life of everything. I'm bringing pure electric. So, pure electric heating ability, pure electric fan ability, pure electric cooling, pure electric filtration system, everything on the lowest scale possible. So 5 volts of everything. I can have a swamp cooler in my little place to cool me down, even though probably give me a little bit of a drooling effect from sweating. But hey, cool. And I'll be able to have a small portable heater ability from probably some heat coil system to heat up the little trailer, or use my heating ware and have my pack ability. I'll have a portable shower that powers off USB, and portable filtration system that's USB-C rechargeable, USB rechargeables, and USB rechargeable from UV light ability. So I'll be able to purify my water if there's anything still left that's living inside my water. And I'll still have water capacity. So I'm thinking about getting a 2 to 2.5 gallon water tank of fresh water. And then collapsible bucket for filling somewhat clean water into it, and then refiltering that somewhat clean to my UV purifier mount top, and then pouring that into my fresh water container system and going with that. So I have fresh water, I have ability to shower, I have ability to cool down, I have ability to heat up, I have ability to power, and better performance on my phone ability because my booster. All the good jazz. Really awesome. Oh. So in a sense, somebody that's kicking your butt out in the boonies will probably be me. I'll be on my little tiny phone playing Client Side or something, but I screaming my head off in the middle of the woods. Ah! And people are probably a random passerby just hiking through the woods, be like, "Is Bigfoot around? I'm gonna blow your head off!" So it's going to be quite a powerhouse system. Not to mention, my bike is already going to be powerhouse. As I already told you guys about my Hyper E-Drive project. Mid-drive, dual power ability for motors. Right now I have dual hubs. One's not 500. Not both of them is not 500, but still. The stock rear 250 and upgrade 500. Dual throttles, so independent throttle ability. Dual battery packs. Right now I'm using the middle drive for my rear hub, which gives me around 13 miles range. Still pretty decent. And my 36 volt 3-aught cell in my trailer. Really powerful. And it's built to be a cruiser seat, so I can actually sit upright like this and drive. So I can actually feel comfortable while I'm driving around, even though it kind of makes my sore butt nap times for a long period of time. But it rides nice and comfortable, feels great, and the stance is great, and it's still a mountain bike, so it can literally take the abuse. And my tires are full terrain tires, so I can go anywhere, wherever I freaking want. And it still looks like a bicycle. It doesn't have a huge panel in the back to recharge or anything crazy like that. I think the only thing that will be a sore thumb on it is when I get that camper trailer on the back, and I get Project Station going for that. But right now, it's just a standard bike with basic trailer on the back, and looks normally like a normal bicycle. Not a motorcycle in any way or any shape or form. Doesn't have a crazy, huge, I don't know, 4-foot panel on the back of it flying about. Just looks like a normal bike. And I can recharge really fast. I have a long range ability. I have pretty decent accessories. So Project Station is going to be really insane for me to pull off. My first thing I need to get is the actual trailer itself. Then I can start doing the modifications. But I still need to buy the components for such and such. Because again, 3 kilowatts is going to be where I'm going for. Even if I have to put another kilowatts just on the bike itself by the 2 side panners, that'll be fine. But yeah. So 3 kilowatts for power station. And then if I can probably replace the... Oh, hello person. How's it going? And they leave. It's like... I feel like a clickbait video. Like somebody clicked me and then they just like... and then they instantly just leave. Am I that scary? I'm not even trying to be scary, guys. I can be really scary, though. I actually can. It's really creepy. Anyways. So if I can replace both my standard generators to life cells and be able to use those again, I gotta fix something going on with my Goal Zero Yeti 400. My AC ports don't want to run for some freaking reason. And my Yeti 150, the thermal sensor was never tripping. So it has a defective thermal sensor ability. So it doesn't work. But everything else works on it. Both of them still work. I'm actually powering my light. My light back there. I'm actually powering off my Goal 400 right now. I have 2 Life 350s powering my room. Not very bright, but don't really need that brightness. Especially since, I have my cool little bunk bed here. Yes, this is actually a bunk bed. I know everybody's like, how old are you? Bunk bed? What the freak are you doing on a bunk bed, dude? Who cares how old I am? I like bunk beds. And this bunk bed's actually for adults. 400 pounds that can be held up there. And the cool thing is, down here, I'm actually sitting on my desk. Yes, there's this bunk bed actually has a little desk system under here. So there's no other bed down here. It's just a built-in desk to the actual bunk bed. And then I got some blankets right here to make it so the light doesn't come into the desk area, so I can actually see and there's no reflections. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So if you don't like bunk beds, that's your issue. And hi, person. You gonna stay for a while, or you just gonna leave like the other people do? If you want to chat, there's the chat system. Bye then. I don't know how many times I've said that. People just keep on coming in. They're just like, I wonder if they're gonna look at this video once it's done live streaming. They're gonna probably comment like, "Dude, put a shirt on." Like, you're not seeing my full chest, dude. Shut up. Probably not even gonna watch the entire video. They're just gonna watch like 2 minutes and look at me and say, "Oh, dude, you have no shirt. Put a shirt on, dude." It's like, you can't even see me. It's like, shut up. It's my videos. You don't like watching a nice, cool, short buzz cut dude talking about his videos? And go away. And maybe hugging his nice, cool soul generator. No, that's too awkward. Anyways. So there's a lot more stuff I have to buy for Project Station that especially comes into the battery packs. And I'm going to look into another battery pack similar to this so I can definitely run off of USB devices that at least have 15 watts of output with multiple ports, because when I get myself my the heated wear underpants and other stuff like that to walk in the wintertime and be nice and warm, I want to be able to have battery pack in my backpack and connect it all to there. That way I'm not limited to maybe 2 hours of run time. I can literally run for 6 hours or so forth, or even 12 hours or something like that off of it and whatnot. Just be like sitting outside the road and just chilling like it's summertime when it's 10 degrees outside. Fahrenheit. 10 Fahrenheit. Freezing cold. But I'm sitting out there like it's freaking summertime out. And then there's got to be the other accessories and such forth. I gotta do cable management, cable buying, another solar panel system, guys like that, because having to rely on taking siphon power from the bike itself, I can recharge at the station's ability. Plus, I'm looking into buying Shine 2.0 from the wind turbine company. They came out with Shine. Their 2.0 is finally going to have a USB-C port that's going to support 75 watts of power delivery, I believe, and the USB ports for normal USB ability. So that's going to be cool. And they're going to up such and such, I think. So it's going to be pretty decent. So I'm going to have portable power from wind, solar, and that jazz. And maybe if I want to throw in BioLite, I could probably buy BioLite's ability, but Really don't need BioLite because, I mean, can normally just order stuff or eat canned beans. Or I can buy myself a portable cook stove that uses off the power of the bike itself, aka the AC power ability. And since that will take very little time, it shouldn't take much kilowatts of power off of it. Who knows? Probably though, BioLite would probably be a better option, but having to light everything and do that guys might be a little interesting. But either way, BioLite's another option for outdoors and whatnot. But thermal, wind, solar, power performance, self-sustained basically. The only thing I probably won't have is heated water. But then again, there are cool cups that you can actually have little portable heated cup coffee waters that technically I guess I can buy. Heat a portable cup of water. Then I can technically just pour that into a bucket. Buy like 3 of those and pour into a bucket and then reheat water. Have a small little thermal case and go with that. So there's a lot of options. So Project Station is going to be insane for the amount of power stuff that it's going to have. And I keep on saying that. And this is a 2-hour video. How incredibly cool. You guys get to see me ramble and fill with this top as on the door, messing with the top, and see my cool buzz cut nice hair for 2 hours. Awesome. But anyways, I think I'll end the video now. And see you guys later in another stream. So if you guys have any questions about Project Station and any of the other crazy stuff you might think that might be cool and work out with it, comment down below and tell me what you think. But if I have any crazy comments telling me about my crazy hairdo, I might smack you. But if you managed to get all the way to this end of the video, congratulations! You just wasted an hour and 45 minutes of your time watching a guy with a buzz cut and looking at how cool he's mentioning how awesome the future is going to be with his project. If it becomes a reality. Peace out and see you guys later.